Hi there. Right, adverbs. Adverbs are words that generally describe a verb. Well, no, they are words that describe a verb. They're like adjectives for verbs. So if I had the sentence, the boy ran quickly down the road. Ran is my verb because that is doing, he's running, and quickly tells me how he's doing it. The boy ran slowly, the boy ran quietly. My adverb is telling me how the verb is happening. So the boy ran quickly down the road. Mr. McIntosh shouted loudly at the class. So those are some examples of adverbs. Um, Generally, as a rule of thumb, adverbs tend to end in ly or ly. So quickly, loudly, quietly. Not all the time, but generally as a rule of thumb. If it ends in ly, you can be like 99% sure that it's an adverb. So, what's adverbs? Right, moving on to more trickier grammar. Right, so I have got adverbials. How can I explain this? Adverbials are like adverbs, but they're made up of more than one word, and they give us more context in the sense of how, when, or why, or where something is happening. So, for example, we stayed awake, and then my adverbial is all night long. It gives the first part of my sentence more context. So the second one would be I ran away as fast as I could. Again, I'm giving it more context, more body, more depth. And the last one I've kind of drawn up is we met by the park gate. So again, we met could stand by itself, but by the park gate is my adverbial. This is a really, really tricky concept to explain, and we only really start doing this in year 4. Year 5. Year 4 is a bit early, but some schools do it year 4, year 5, when we get into the upper key stage 2s, but that's an adverbial. Similarly, we move on to fronted adverbials, and it's the same thing, but obviously what we're doing is we're taking our adverbial and putting it at the front of a sentence. So, whereas we stayed awake all night long my adverbial was at the end, it's now at the beginning. So, all night long, we stayed awake. As fast as I could, I ran away. So all we're doing is taking a verb from the back of the sentence and throwing it towards the front. So that is an adverbial and a fronted adverbial. Hi there, so I've got some conjunctions or connectives. Sorry, these should be plural, not singular at the bottom. When I was at school, I called them conjunctions. Some schools call them conjunctions. They're normally called connectives now. Grammar has moved on. All they do is join a clause or a sentence together. So whereas you could have a full stop, so I was late, we're now going to add and really wet. So you've got our 2 separate clauses and it becomes one big sentence. At the bottom, I was late because it was really wet. So those are just a few examples. Normally, the classic ones, and, but, because, those are connectives. Yeah, I think that's it really.